Alright, so we're back to our usual videos that we usually make. Hopefully again, we'll be doing this weekly if we can. And I was thinking there's a pretty cool shot that we did. I think it was about 3 videos ago. It's this shot here. You know, it looks all nice and smooth. You know, it's a nice smooth angle going down and then back up. And there was 2 things that went into that. Now the first thing was just, you know, just holding the camera nice and steady and just moving, you know, back and forth like this. Doing that a couple of times, getting some nice smooth movement. Second thing that we did to make it nice and smooth, we had to take it into Premiere Pro and then use the warp stabilizer tool. And you know what? I'll admit I don't really use the warp stabilizer that much, to be honest. But with this one clip, I was a little surprised with, you know, how well it did it. So I was thinking on that day, on that night of me doing the editing for that video, how good is the warp stabilizer tool in itself, and how much can we push it till, you know, it's not that useful, it's not that relevant, and you don't want to use it. So I was thinking, you know, let's do a couple of tests today, some very slow movement, some bit more active, and we'll see again just how far we can push the warp stabilizer, because I'll admit there are some points I have about it, but I'll tell you that after the opening. Let's go. So when I first got into editing that one, again, it was just that one little clip, I was thinking it needs to be a bit more smoother. And the one thing that was pretty quick, you know, at my disposal just then, because obviously I could have maybe gone back, refilmed it, made it a bit more smooth. But obviously sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you'll have your videos all filmed on a weekend when, you know, you went somewhere miles away, and then you come back, start editing, and you know, you can't go there again. It's just not possible. So there's something you got to do about it, because if you want to use the shot, it looks nice, it's almost perfect, it's just maybe a little bit wobbly. So one thing to fix that, you can just use the warp stabilizer tool, and it's pretty simple to use. So what I'll do, I'll show you now how to use it, how to apply it, and just how effective it can be for certain clips. So we'll do that now. But first, actually, before I do that, as I said in the beginning, before the intro, you know, we need to get some clips so I can show you, because I could use the old one. But that's done, you've seen that, it looks all nice. Let's go out and get some new ones. You know, we're in our famous park where, you know, we got all this open space. It's all nice, it's all lush. Enough paths for us to go running about, maybe, and hopefully not enough people to get in my way, because I do have to stretch the legs a bit. So, you know what? Let's get going. It was a bit mossy there. You know what? Yeah, we'll walk around. Right, so we're here in this pretty wide field. I mean, you got to just watch your feet a bit, because there's a bit of naughtiness on the floor, which we can skip, you know, be careful. But I was just thinking, so for the first shot where we're going to test out the warp stabilizer tool, is let's just keep it pretty simple and pretty just calming. Let's just take a nice little walk down there, and the shot will be basically, so I'll just, like I said, really simple. I'm going to walk to where that dog is right there, just in that same direction. I'll keep my shoulders I'll try and keep them as still as possible, and that way I'm helping the warp stabilizer tool, because there's not so much movement. Because I mean, also it's a little hilly, a bit rocky, but we can work with it. So you know what, let's get on with the first shot. Alright, I've already gone into Premiere Pro and I've already cut the bits that we need. You know, the bits where just I'm walking, the bit where there's a bit of pace on the way I walk, you know, just a bit of a fast walk, and the bit where I'm running a bit. So, I mean, the next thing that I really need to do is just show you where and how to use the warp stabilizer tool. So let's go on with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the easiest clip first, you know, the one where I'm just walking. It's pretty slow. It's pretty, I mean, it's not the most creative shot, although saying that, you know, I can probably see this being used for something, you know, I don't know what, maybe if you want to make a movie or something, it's a pretty cool way of just maybe introducing a character or something. Whatever you think this shot could be used for, it could probably be used for that. But anyway, like I just said, I'm now going to show you how to find and how to use the warp stabilizer tool. So let's get into it. Okay, so to use the warp stabilizer tool, it's really simple, really easy, and you'll be done with the main bit of it in a couple seconds. I'll show you. So let's go to the effects panel in Premiere Pro, and then just type in at the top warp, and you'll see here a little tab that says warp stabilizer. All you're going to do is really simple. You're just going to click on that and just drag it over to your clip like this, and that is it. Honestly, there is nothing else to it. You just drag. I mean, there is something, but we'll get to that later on. But I mean, as you'll see in your thumbnail as well, it does say analyzing in background, step 1 of 2, and all that kind of stuff. All you're going to do is let Premiere do its thing, let it do all this kind of analyzing in the background, let it do all the settings for you, and in about, depending how long your clip is, it could be 20 seconds, it could be a minute, it could be 5 minutes if it's a really long clip. Chances are you won't use it for a clip that long, just because you're giving Premiere way too much data to try and work out how to keep the image straight and all that. So generally, I would say if you're going to use warp stabilizer, maybe just short clips, maybe something like at max maybe 30 seconds. Even then, I feel like I'm pushing it a bit. Maybe 20 seconds. But I mean, you know your clips, you find out yourself, see what works, what doesn't. But anyway, I'm just letting this run. It's taken a while, so I'll get back to you once it's done. Alright, that is the clip done. So let's go back now and watch the original footage and then compare it to our now warp stabilized new footage. Let's go. Now I'm pretty sure you can see that there are some improvements and it doesn't look too bad. I mean, saying that, you can see in the foreground where all the trees are, there's some weird wobbly movements that's not ideal, but with some adjustments to the settings, which I'll tell you about in a minute, you might be able to fix that slightly. Again, it's one of the things where it might be ideal if you could maybe film this one scene a couple times, maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 or 6, and then you actually have a range of different clips you can pick from, use the warp stabilizer on, and maybe, just maybe, one of those clips, it'll work a little more efficiently, a bit more effectively, and you won't get this weird wobbliness with the clip. So that's the first clip, and as you can see, pretty simple. I mean, we did nothing to the clip. We just added, or just dragged a little effect from one side over the clip, and that was it. I mean, it really was as easy as that. I mean, there's a bit of wait time, but that's it. But anyway, that was the first clip. So let's jump back into the video and I'll show you how we're gonna, let's just say, push the warp stabilizer tool a little bit more. And I mean, this one isn't, we're not pushing it too hard yet. Although saying that, you know what, it probably is just better if I just show you. So let's continue. Right, so that was the first shot done, and you know, I went all right, but you know, that's not testing out exactly the limit of what a warp stabilizer can do. So for this next one, we're gonna do a brisk walk, change the shot a little bit. We're gonna do a side angle. So just like it is now, something like this. I'm gonna do a bit of a brisk walk, and again, it's a bit hilly here, which actually maybe helps us out a little bit when testing out just, you know, what a warp stabilizer can do. So you know, let's start just down here, a brisk walk. Let's go. All right, now we have our second clip, and this one, it's testing it a little more because there's more movement from the subject, which is me in the clip, but also, you know, the cameraman himself actually, you know, following me, you know, not using a stabilizer or a gimbal, actually just following me with their own footsteps at a bit more of a pace. So obviously there will be a bit more camera movement. So let's see how well the warp stabilizer tool can help out this clip, and let's see if it can fix it. Now, like I said when we was editing the first clip, that there are some settings you can do to just change what the warp stabilizer is going to do for your clip, and that is under the warp stabilizer tab. So let's go on with it. So I can see there are some drop down menus, so if you click on each of them, you will change some different aspects of what the tool will do for you. So here you can see the first one is stabilization, second one is smoothness, and the third one is your framing. Now I'm pretty sure you can guess what each one does just giving off the name. However, I would say best thing for you to do, because depending on your clip, whether it's fast, slow, whether it's a different type of movement, you know, going from up to down, left to right, maybe you're panning or something, you're tilting, it all kind of varies. So I'd say the best thing for you to do is to go into your clip, onto the warp stabilizer tab, and just play around with the settings, because some things work for some clips, some things don't work for other clips, and it's just one of the things. It really is just test it out and see what works best for your clip. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and just alter the smoothness a bit, because I do feel like the clip is a bit It's a bit too jittery, but I mean, I don't know if I will be able to fix that, because I mean, there was, even though it's only a bit of, you know, a quick pace walk, not running, there was still, I mean, quite a lot of movement from me, from the camera, so it might not be salvageable. But you know what? I live in hope, and maybe we will be able to fix it, so let's try it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really work that well. It's still a bit jittery, not amazing. I mean, I guess it did kind of fix it from the original footage, but I wouldn't say it did such an amazing job that I'm happy, you know, to use it again for a similar type of clip. But what I might just do is just go back in, just reset that a little bit and just try again. I don't think it'll do any difference, but we'll see. I mean, yeah, I mean, this one, I guess it did. It kind of helped a little bit. I mean, it was a little jittery, and I mean, like I just said, I mean, the background was kind of iffy. It was kind of, you know, he was coming at you from different areas. So, I mean, maybe we're already starting to find the limitations of the warp stabilizer. But, you know, let's not completely cut out yet. I mean, we've still got one more example to do, one more test. Although, I mean, judging from this one, I don't have too high hopes for it. But nonetheless, let's, you know, like I just said before this clip, let's jump back into the video and just see how, again, we're going to push the warp stabilizer tool even more than pushing it now. Let's go. Right, we're on our final shot for today, and this one we're going to do a bit of running, a bit of athleticism, and it's just simple. We're just going to run down there, and we're actually going to do 2 shots with this. Now the first one, I'm going to, you know, be in front of these trees. The second one, I'm going to be behind the trees, and I'm going to just test out and see if that'll make a difference, because I do know that obviously the warp stabilizer, it takes in obviously what it's seeing in the frame. So I'm thinking, what if there is just something that's just in the way, like a tree? Maybe that'll affect it, maybe it won't. We'll find out after this little test. We're not going as fast as that guy, but we'll go at our own speed. Let's go. Alright, so I'm sure you can already guess what the results will be from this test, and you know, the end product will be. I know I wouldn't blame you if you had some negative thoughts about how this is going to end up, because you know, I have the exact same, but we're going to test it anyway. Maybe we'll both be surprised, or maybe we won't. We'll see. Let's get on with it. I mean, let's be honest, I don't even think I need to do this to the clips, because I think we both know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm only doing this to the clips just for the videos, just so I can show you, but I mean, we both know what's going to happen. It's not going to work. But anyway, you know, let's just do it, just so no one can say that I didn't do it, and you know, there's inconclusive evidence that it wouldn't work for this such a fast movement video. So like I said, I'm just doing it for the video, just to show you and just to prove that I won't do it. I mean, debatably, it has improved on the video. Hasn't made it perfect, but it's made an improvement from, you know, the original footage, which was really shaky. I mean, this is still very shaky, but like I said, it's an improvement, not something that you want to look at. I mean, yeah, just as expected, it wasn't going to do it. We knew from the second clip, and that being half the speed of this one, half the action, all that kind of stuff, it just wasn't there. It just wasn't. It was just obvious that it wasn't going to work. But I mean, if you think back to the first clip that we did, the one where I was just walking and just, you know, behind the headshot, that one actually works out pretty well, even though, again, a bit of the background was kind of moving, you know, where the trees were. But I mean, maybe if you do 1 or 2 tries of that kind of shot, you might have some better results, and even, you know, go back and maybe alter some of the settings of the warp stabilizer. That could also help, possibly. So I would say is the warp stabilizer, it can be good, it can. Just don't expect too much from it. I mean, I have given you a bit of a test and some examples of how I kind of pushed, and just try to show you how good the warp stabilizer is. So, you know, make your own decision. If you think any of these shots were worth using, maybe I'm judging it too harshly. Maybe you're going for a bit of a, you know, creative type of film and you want this kind of, that weird kind of look. Generally, I don't think you do. But anyway, let's go back to outside me with some last final thoughts. Right, so we're done with today's video. Done all the running. It's been alright. Anyway, we'll throw it back to the outro me even. Alright, so that is the end of the video, and I hope you did like it. And you know what? It was actually, I feel like it can be seen as pretty useful, because it's one of the things where not everybody has, like, you know, like a stabilizer, and I think it can at times be a little difficult to get super smooth footage. So hopefully by you utilizing, you know, the warp stabilizer tool, you'll see that some of your footage that you might think that looks okay, it's just a little shaky and I don't like it, it takes away a bit of the professionalism from it. Hopefully with this warp stabilizer tool, you know, you'll be alright, you'll fix it and look all good. But anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, which I'm pretty sure, if my numbers are right, it's actually our Halloween video, and it's gonna be pretty fun. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not like last year where we had 3. I'm not doing that this year. It's too much stress. I ain't got time anymore. But anyway, it'll be a good one. You know, we'll have one Halloween video this year, but it'll still be fresh and nice. It'll be cool. Hopefully it'll creepy as well. I'll see you next week.